Hello there everyone, the Jedi Brick here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys every single Luke Skywalker minifigure in my collection. So if you guys did not know, I am trying to collect every single Luke Skywalker minifigure ever made since he is my favorite Star Wars character of all time. And a few months ago I did make a video showing you guys every minifigure in my collection, but my collection has grown quite a bit since that video, so I thought it would be fun to show you guys everything that I've collected since then and every minifigure that I have so far. So let's get right into it. So starting off, the earliest minifigure I have in my collection, this is the 2003 Cloud City Luke Skywalker. This came out in that very, very famous Cloud City set. The one with the Boba Fett, the first Lando Calrissian. It had amazing minifigures in there, and this is definitely one of them. This is such an amazing, amazing minifigure. And one thing that I discovered is that this minifigure isn't entirely exclusive to that set. The head, the hair, and the torso all come in a bunch of other sets. The torso comes in some city sets, I believe. The only thing that's exclusive about this minifigure to that set is the legs. And to me, that was very surprising. I figured the whole thing would be exclusive, or at least the torso would be exclusive to that set as well, but it isn't. This is in a bunch of city sets. You can buy this torso on Bricklink for less than $1, which is pretty crazy. So the only thing exclusive about this minifigure is the legs, and mine are pretty scuffed up. They were very well played with, which is fine to me. This is more of a collector's item, and that does mean I got this at a bit of a cheaper price. Wasn't, you know, dirt cheap, but it is a well loved set of legs and a torso there, so I was able to justify it for myself to make this purchase. But anyways, this is a very nice minifigure. He does come with that chrome lightsaber hilt. A thing I wish LEGO would come back and make. I love the chrome lightsaber hilts. You'll see one more of those in this video as well, but they do look very, very nice. Um, I just really like this minifigure. A lot of history and everything behind it in that set. So that's kind of one reason this makes it so valuable. But let's move on to the next one. The next figure we have here is the Jedi Training Luke Skywalker. This came out in the same year, 2003. This came out in the Dagobah training set with Luke and Yoda and R2D2, where he's lifting up the X-Wing and you have Yoda's hut. It's a very cool small set. I guess it wasn't very small, but it is a very nice set. And one thing I noticed when I got this minifigure in hand, the torso is printed the exact same on both sides. I don't know if that's a misprint with mine. I can't imagine it is. I'm sure this is a universal thing. Um, but I don't know. I thought that was very strange. The torso is the exact same print on both sides. I don't think I've ever seen a torso like that with printing being the exact same on both sides, so that's very interesting. Of course, he is yellow skinned on this one just like the previous one, so he does have the yellow arms and hands on there as well. And the same head and hair that we've seen um, from Luke Skywalker up to 2003 and like 1999. So very common head and hair pieces. And you have just some plain dark gray legs on there. I did not have the backpack for this because I just wasn't able to get one. But he is supposed to have a backpack on there as well. I just don't have it. But this is a very nice minifigure as well. I love the Empire Strikes Back versions of Luke Skywalker in Lego form. I think they just do such a good job with them. So let's move on to the next one. This next Luke Skywalker came out in a visual dictionary. This is the Yavin Celebration Luke Skywalker, and this was actually, I believe, my first Luke Skywalker I ever got in Lego, and I have so much love and nostalgia for this minifigure. He's not much to look at, especially with that torso. It is very bland, especially on the back. They really updated it and made it look so much better in the newer version, which we'll take a look at in just a bit. But I really like this minifigure. I know it's really not a bunch of people's favorites, but I do think he looks really nice. I'm not a fan of the hair, though. I will say that this hair was not it for Luke Skywalker. I think they would have been a better choice if they kept the same one from the two previous Lukes we just looked at. If they kept that one, I don't really like this longer hair, but whatever. One thing that is unfortunate with mine is one of the legs is broken off, so you can kind of see part of the leg is stuck inside the hip. Brittle Brown strikes again, and It's probably something I will fix at some point, just buy another set of legs or maybe just the hips and replace those, but just something I haven't really gotten around to doing yet. This is my first version of Luke Skywalker with his normal flesh tone. He does not have an alternate face, though. He does um, just have the basic uh, front print, so nothing really special with that face print, but let's move on to the next minifigure. The next minifigure we have here is a very, very cool one. This came out in, I believe, either 2012 or yeah, I think this was 2012. This is the Luke Skywalker from the Millennium Falcon, and this one has its very own unique head print, which is very, very cool. Everything else about this minifigure has come in some other places, no back printing or anything like that, but the really cool thing about this minifigure is if you flip this head around, not only does it have this angry face, but it does have the face print when he's using the training remote on the Millennium Falcon with the lightsaber and everything, which I think is very, very cool. I don't have the helmet for this, unfortunately, so I do just have the hair. He does look kind of strange with the blast shield down on his hair, but this is a very, very cool minifigure, and to my knowledge, we haven't gotten another version like this in any other set, so this is the only version with the training remote shield down, and I do like the angry face on there. I think it looks very, very cool. A lot more expressive than some of the other more angry faces we've gotten in more recent sets. So for that, it is a very cool minifigure, but let's move on to the next one. These next two I'm just going to show you guys at the same time. These are both Luke Skywalkers from the Jabba's Palace part of Return of the Jedi. They came out a year apart in 2013 and 2014, if I'm not mistaken. The one on the left comes from the Desert Skiff set from the first year, and then the one on the right comes from the Rancor pit in 2013. So, very cool, and the only thing that's different about them is the face print. The one on the left has the same, no, it's a different face print from the Yavin Celebration one, but it is a very basic face print. There's no alternate face or anything, it's just that one expression, which I'm not a huge fan of. It does have a bit of nostalgia behind it for being one of the classic flesh-toned Star Wars heads, but this new one does have a unique face print that was only in a few sets. It has this more angry looking face, and it has that smiling one that I just showed you, which is very, very cool. They both do have back printing, which looks very nice as well, and I really like this torso. I feel like it's a very underrated Star Wars torso. I feel like you could use this for a Jedi Bob custom or just Jedi with gray robes. You don't really get to see that a lot in LEGO Star Wars nowadays. So having that in LEGO is very, very cool, and it's just a unique minifigure. It's not, another farm boy Luke. It's not, another X-Wing suit. It's very unique, and I really hope we get another version of this minifigure soon, because I would love a new Rancor pit, and I feel like a lot of people would too. So if anyone from LEGO is watching this, give us another Rancor pit. It would be very, very cool. But yeah, let's move on to the next minifigure. This next minifigure is from 2014, and he is from a visual dictionary. It's supposed to be based off the 1999 version of Farm Boy Luke, but it is modernized a little bit, higher quality printing and everything, but it is a replica of what we got in 1999, which is very, very cool. You have that back printing on there, which looks very, very nice. I like the 1999 version of Luke Skywalker. A lot of nostalgia behind that one as well. There's a lot of nostalgia behind all these, I guess, but this one's very, very cool. Not a whole lot to say about it, but it does have really nice torso and leg printing on there. It's replicating the same old style face and hair, which is very cool. And we'll see another version or another type minifigure like this that was a redesign of an old figure, but let's move on to the next farm boy. So this version of Luke Skywalker came out in 2014, and I believe this came out in the Sandcrawler as well as some other sets. He does have a bit of a unique face print as well. This one hasn't really been seen that often. He does have like this big smirk on his face, and flip it around, he does have a more, calm expression. I'm not really a huge fan of this version of Luke Skywalker. I just don't think the face really matches Mark Hamill all that well. I feel like the newer style Luke Skywalker faces really capture that. This one just really isn't it for me. I don't really like the lines on the face. I feel like it makes him look, I don't know. It just doesn't look right to me, if that makes sense. But this is a nice minifigure. We will see this printing and stuff again very, very soon. So the only thing that's really unique here is that face. This minifigure here is very, very special to me. This was another one of my first versions of Luke Skywalker that I ever got. This one came out in an advent calendar, and it's come out in a bunch of other places as well. This one came out around 2015 or 2016, and I remember getting it in the advent calendar from 2016, which was very, very cool. That's really when I started to get into Star Wars, and I really wanted this specific version of Luke Skywalker with his green lightsaber. So getting that when I was younger was very, very cool to me. And this one, if you guys can see it, this one was very well loved. It was very played with. You can see the cracks and stuff underneath the arms, which is unfortunate, but this one was a very well loved minifigure. He does have that darker hair piece there. It's the same mold, but just darker tan. And he does have that newer style face print as well. The more, I don't know, calm expression and the smiling expression on the back, which is very, very cool. I was so happy to finally get this version of Luke Skywalker in Lego. Half the reason I got that advent calendar was for this version of Luke Skywalker, and man, I just love this one so much. It's not exactly the most detailed. You do have that really nice torso print on there on the front and back. No leg printing though, but just a lot of good memories behind this minifigure. This next one came out in, I believe, 2017 up to, recent years. This one is the newer version of Farm Boy Luke. And really the only difference between this one and the one that I showed you a few minutes ago is the face print. That's the newer style face print, the one they've really had since 2015, just like the Return of the Jedi Luke that I just showed you. It's nothing special, nothing unique. We've gotten a ton of versions of this, and not a lot to say about it, but really nice printing on the torso and the legs. You do have back printing, of course. Really nice belt printing as well. You have that little pouch and stuff right there. Very iconic version of Luke Skywalker from A New Hope, but just very plain at this point. It's like the Luke's Land Speeder. We get one like almost every year, so really nothing special. This next one is another one of my favorite Luke Skywalker minifigures. This one came out in the newer style Cloud City set and the diorama one that came out back in like 2020, 2021, and also came out in a small poly bag for the European markets. This one is the dual on Bespin Luke Skywalker. This one is just so cool looking. That face print just looks amazing, amazing. I love it so much. The detail on the torso and the legs, just amazing. Really wanted this minifigure for a long time, so I'm so happy I finally got it. Um, just looks so nice. I did take the arm off there to, represent what happened in Empire Strikes Back, but the printing on this is just amazing. You do have some back printing as well with the belt and the jacket going all the way around. Just looks amazing. You have those two pouches right there on front. You have that really nice belt buckle where you can see where you would hook his lightsaber. The legs are not exclusive. Those have come in some other versions of Luke Skywalker, like the Dagobah training ones. But if I flip the head around, you can see there's a kind of a confident little smirk. It's different than what we got for other versions of Luke Skywalker. So it is a completely different head, but I'm gonna keep it with this one. I think they captured Mark Hamill's face so well for this minifigure. I think it looks spot on. They just did a great job. He has that black eye. You can see the fear in his eyes when Darth Vader tells him that he is his father. Just an amazing scene, and an amazing minifigure. I just love it so much. And another one from Empire Strikes Back. Luke Skywalker really did have the best minifigures from that movie. This is the Back to Suit one. This came out in, I believe, 2017. It was a little like $20-$30 set of the Hoth Medical Bay, and you had the little back to tank and everything, and you could put Luke in there. It's a very cool set. And this is the minifigure we got in this. We've gotten different versions of Back to Tank Luke. I think we got one other one, but this one's very cool. You can see he's got the harness and stuff on. He's got the respirator on. His eyes are closed, just like he's in there floating. And he does have an alternate face where you flip him around. He has that black eye still. And he's got a nice smile on there as well. He did get a different black eye later on in the movie, of course, but very cool. This is a very nice version of Luke Skywalker, and you do have some back printing as well of the harnessed and the like speedo diaper thing he's wearing. Goes all the way around with the belt buckles. Looks very nice. I think this minifigure definitely could have benefited from some side printing on the legs. Kind of looks like he's naked, but it is what it is. It does look very funny, but this is a very nice version of Luke Skywalker. So let's move on to another Empire. Here's another version of Luke from The Empire Strikes Back. This one came out in 2017 from the Yoda's Hut set. This one is very, very cool as well. I remember getting this set for my birthday that year, which was very, very cool. I remember building this one and everything. So this one does use the same legs from the duel on Bespin Luke Skywalker, but the torso and the head are different. I believe they are different than the newer uh, diorama style Yoda's Hut set. But anyways, this is a very nice looking minifigure. You have the tank top that he's wearing, some like stains and like stuff on it, kind of like see his muscles and stuff through it, I suppose. Does look very, very nice, but I love the face print on this minifigure. Right now, he has his eyes closed like he's using the Force, and if you flip it around, he has a more concerned face on there. Just the amount of like different Luke Skywalkers we've gotten from this movie with all different face prints is just very, very cool. They definitely could have used the basic Luke Skywalker face print for this minifigure, but they didn't. They went above and beyond. They gave us an exclusive face print, which is very, very cool. I love this one. I like to hold him in this position like he is using the Force, which is very, very cool. This one also did have a backpack, but I just lost it over time. I'm sure I could rebuild it, but I think he looks good without the backpack as well. Let's move on to one of the worst Luke's minifigures. So this Luke Skywalker minifigure came out in 2017, I believe, or 2017, 2018. It came out in the X-Wing that came out that year, and it was a great X-Wing. I love that X-Wing so much, but this minifigure, it's horrible. It looks dumb, and the only reason why is because of this helmet. Look how big and bulky this helmet is. This was around the same era they redesigned the Stormtrooper helmet as well and made it dual molded. They tried to do the same thing for the X-Wing Luke, and it just did not work. Look how massive this helmet is compared to the ones we're getting today. It has like the visor and stuff printed on it, which in theory it looks good, but just to the minifigure scale, it does not look good at all. There's a lot of good printing on here, don't get me wrong, but it's just so bulky and awkward looking. I I hate it. But the minifigure torso and everything is nothing exclusive or special. We've seen it in a bunch of other places. This is the only time we ever got this helmet in Lego, and it should definitely stay that way. It's horrible. I hate it. Unlike The Last Jedi, this minifigure is actually very, very good. Although I hated Luke Skywalker in that movie, this minifigure is so, so good. I love the robes that they gave Luke in this minifigure in the movie as well. It has like a very old school High Republic kind of style to it with the white and the tan. I think it looks very, very nice. This was our first version of Old Man Luke, and one of the last. We've gotten two versions of Old Man Luke, and I think that's all the old Lukes we're going to be getting for a very, very long time. But this one does look very good. You have this unique, longer cape. It's very spongy. Looks very good. You have his metal hand right there. The torso and leg printing on this minifigure is just amazing. It looks so nice. If I flip that around, you can see he does have some back printing as well, which is great. This came in the Octu Jedi training set. Around the same time as the Yoda's Hut, I think like a year after that. So it was a very nice step up from that set. Looks very, very cool. I don't know. I feel like even if you hate The Last Jedi, I feel like If you like Luke Skywalker, you should get this minifigure. I do think he looks very cool in this outfit. He does have an alternate face. You can flip that around, a more angry, grumpy old man look. I do like the face print on this. I think this is a very good face for customs as well. He does come with this hair piece, which has been used in other places as well. So, it's not super exclusive, but that is the only old man Luke in my collection. This next Luke Skywalker came out in 2019 for the 20th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars in 1999, and this is the redesign of the pilot suit. So this one came out, I believe, in Anakin's Pod Racer set. So what they did here is they just redesigned the X-Wing suit from 1999 and just modernized it a bit. And the thing they changed is they added the 20 years of Lego Star Wars on the back as well. And I do like that a lot. That looks very, very nice on there. Kind of has a bit of a shine to it. It's kind of different than what they're doing right now with the 25th anniversary, where they're just giving us minifigures that we've wanted for a long time. I definitely like this route more than what they're doing right now. I would have rather just gotten those minifigures in a set. I feel like this is a much better tribute to the anniversary of LEGO Star Wars. So this minifigure really isn't all that different than the one from 1999, except for that back printing. It really is the exact same minifigure, just higher quality prints. They didn't change anything about the design, but it's just better quality than it was 20 years ago. And I did add a chrome lightsaber hilt to him just to make it look older. And no alternate head or anything because it is replicating that classic style. He does have the classic style X-Wing helmet as well. So this is a very nice minifigure. This next one I don't really have a lot to say about. This is the X-Wing suit Luke Skywalker. This is one of the newer style ones. I believe this did come out in only like 3 sets. Came out in like the Junior's X-Wing and the 20th anniversary Snowspeeder and one other that I'm blanking on right now. But it is a very nice minifigure. It is a step up than the old one that I showed you with that giant helmet. This one looks much better than that one. Um, the visor is printed on the figure. You can see right there has the orange covering his eyes. And this one you have on the alternate side where it looks like he has the visor up a bit. So that does look very nice. He has a happy smile on that one and then a more confident smirk on the other. So it does look very nice. You do have great torso printing on there, a lot of detail. And on the back you can see the vest thing kind of transfers over as well. Really good printing on this minifigure, really high quality. And let's move on to one of the final farm boys. In one of the last land speeders LEGO gave us, they did something slightly unique and they gave Luke Skywalker a poncho. That is the only thing that is different from this minifigure from the last Farm Boy Luke that I showed you. It is just this little poncho. The printing underneath is the exact same, different poncho. Everything else is the exact same. I do like this poncho piece quite a bit. I don't think they're ever going to make this again. It was just kind of a one-time deal, but I'm not really going to complain about it too much. It does look very nice. I'm glad they decided to switch it up a little bit. But yeah, very nice little poncho. This is another really good one. This is the Hoth Luke Skywalker. This is the newest version of this minifigure, I believe. I got this one in a advent calendar like 2 years ago, I believe. It also came out in a microfighter set, which is very, very cool. It does have a lot of printing on the torso as well. You can really see the details and stuff of his jacket. You have the Commander logo there at the top, that belt printing, which looks very nice as always. It goes all the way around. You can see his alternate face a little bit underneath that helmet. So if I lift that up, it's a more serious, concentrating look like he's hanging upside down in the Wampa cave and he's, trying to use the Force to reach his lightsaber and stuff. It does look very, very cool. I think I do prefer this face over the other one, the more happy one, but it does look very cool either way. He does have a bit of detail on the legs there with a bit of the belt printing going down on the right leg and not a lot going on the other leg. This here is another version of the pilot Luke Skywalker. This one is slightly different than the other one. I'm not too sure why they decided to make 2 different versions of this minifigure, but they did. You can see on the the left leg there, he has four things in the ammo pouch, and on this one, he has three. So if I put these two side by side and you look at the torsos, I'm sure you can see some differences, like the piping and stuff on the left one goes in a different direction than the one on the right. I did switch around the faces so you could kind of tell there's a bit of a difference in the minifigure there, but there's not a huge difference when it comes to, you know, the minifigures. This one did come in the Hoth ATST, and it came in one other set. I'm not sure which one. I can't remember, but I think it might be the newer X-wing, the smaller downsized one. I think that's what this came in. But so it is a bit different, um, but I couldn't even really tell when I was looking at it. So it was very interesting. I've mixed up which one came first. But anyway, let's move on to one of the final minifigures. This here is the final Farm Boy Luke Skywalker, and they switched it up again from the poncho. Now it is the Luke Skywalker with the blue milk. This minifigure was able to get if you pre-ordered the Skywalker Saga, and the only difference is he has that exclusive blue milk carton, and he has the blue milk on his face, like the little milk mustache, which is very cool. I did put him together in the bag, so that's the alternate face, a more confused look, which I do think is very cool. And then the alternate face, of course, is that one right there. This is a relatively cheap Luke Skywalker, so it's about maybe $35 on the aftermarket on Bricklink. If you want to get it sealed in the poly bag, which is very nice for a, which essentially exclusive Luke Skywalker. So, if you guys want this version of Luke Skywalker, I would recommend checking out Bricklink for it. Again, not super expensive, which is great for such a funny looking Skywalker. Of course, this isn't really canon to the movies, but it does look cool nonetheless. Here is Luke Skywalker from the season finale of The Mandalorian Season 2. Here he has the robe and the hood up. This is, of course, when he made his first appearance since the sequel movies. And man, was this Luke Skywalker good. I remember watching that season finale when it came out, and this scene just blew me away. I loved it so much. It was such a surprise to see Luke Skywalker, and we of course got a Lego set to go with that scene. Of course, the Dark Trooper attack set. This minifigure is very nice. A lot of detail on the robes and everything. It is different than the last Return of the Jedi Luke I showed you. Um, just higher quality printing and stuff on the torso. You can see a lot of like the creases and stuff in the robes. And you have the belt printing with the lightsaber clip right there as well. He does come with a cape and a hood. He doesn't come with a hairpiece, but I think that's okay. You can see the printing on the back as well. This is just such an amazing minifigure from such an amazing scene in The Mandalorian and Star Wars in general. We are now down to our last two Luke Skywalkers. This one is from the Yavin 4 that came out last year, and this is such an amazing minifigure. They really blew it out of the water with this one. So they redid the Yavin Celebration Luke Skywalker, and a really cool thing about this is they made the metal its own piece. So it's not printed on the minifigure. You can take it off. You could put it on another minifigure if you want. It's not going to focus, but the printing on there is very nice. A lot of detail and stuff on there, and you can keep it off the jacket if you wanted to. You could recreate the scene where he's getting it put on. Just the printing on that jacket looks so nice. It's a different shade of yellow than the last Yavin Luke Skywalker. The printing on the legs looked really nice too. No longer brittle brown, so you don't have to worry about that breaking. But I just love the torso for this version of Luke so much. Um, and not a lot going on in the back. You can see there's like some creases and stuff in the jacket, but very nice. Of course, you probably do want to keep that metal on just because it does add a lot of detail to the minifigure, and it just looks so nice. This Luke Skywalker head, of course, we've seen in a bunch of other sets, so it's nothing new. You do have a smile on the other side, but I'm happy they gave us a modernized version of this character in this scene because I loved it so much. And now the final minifigure that I have in my Luke Skywalker collection, arguably one of the best versions of Luke Skywalker. This is the Luke Skywalker pilot from the UCS X-Wing. This is such a well done minifigure. I do just want to say the torso is not exclusive. It's the same version that we've gotten before in one of the X-Wings, so there is that. The torso itself is not exclusive, but the arm and leg printing, it was exclusive. The thing is, they recently made this version of Luke Skywalker a keychain. I believe it is out now. So if you guys wanted this version of Luke Skywalker, all you had to do now is get this Luke Skywalker here, use the torso, the head, and the helmet, and then all you gotta do from the keychain is pop off the arms and the legs and just attach them onto this version of Luke Skywalker. Then you will have the Luke Skywalker UCS X-Wing minifigure. So that is very cool. I think that's great for people who do not want to pay $200 for the X-Wing to get such a very, very good looking version of this character. And I also think that's kind of good for army building. If you want to add the arms and the legs to your other X-Wing characters, or the other like pilots, you have the ability to do so because this minifigure is highly, highly detailed. I love the dual molded legs with the printing and stuff on them. I love the arm printing. It's so great. I'm glad they aren't keeping that behind a $200 paywall now, and it's just behind like a $6 keychain, which I think is very, very nice. Of course, the head printing is not nothing special. It's the same head printing we've been getting the past few years, but it's very, very cool looking. I love this version of Luke Skywalker so much. Um, yeah, I just think it's really cool. Now that everyone gets to really share in that feeling that I get when I look at this minifigure. Now that you could make it yourself at home if you just buy that other Luke Skywalker and you buy the keychain, you put them together, you get this amazing minifigure. Alright, and that is going to do it for my Luke Skywalker collection. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. It's really crazy how I've been able to build up this collection in the past few months from the last time that I showed you guys this. Since then, I've gotten the Cloud City Luke, I got the Dagobah Training one, I got the UCS Luke, I got the newer Yavin one. So it's really cool that I've been able to build up this collection into something much more sizable. And I really cannot wait to complete this collection. I think that's going to be something very, very cool, and I will definitely make a video on that once I get closer and once I accomplish that goal. But that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about my collection in the comments down below if you have any of these minifigures. And also, if you're collecting any specific character in LEGO Star Wars, if you're trying to get every single Obi-Wan, every R2-D2, whatever, every single Boba Fett, let me know if you guys do that stuff in the comments down below. I love hearing what you guys have in your collections. Also, if you guys want to show me pictures and stuff of what you have in your collection, feel free to join my Discord or follow me on Instagram. I love interacting with both of you, all of you guys on both of those. Very cool way to interact with the rest of the LEGO community. I feel like it's just a lot of fun. And also, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. I love uploading videos. I upload about once or twice a week. I don't really have a set schedule, but I do like uploading videos to show you guys. So, with all that said, hope you guys are having a great day. I am the Jedi Brick. Peace out. Bye.